Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to talk about all things real estate investing with the CEO and founder of Breakchain Capital Investments. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you look at all the great fortunes in society, most of them have real estate in their portfolio. We all think of Jerry Jones as the owner of the Cowboys, but man, you look at his portfolio, he owns a lot of land. And that's how you get rich, folks. To talk about real estate investing is Joe Pizzurro. He is a founder and CEO of Breakchain Capital Investments. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, how did you get into this?
Well, I had one source of income. And I thought, you can't really build exponential wealth with just one source of income, unless there's exceptions. But I started getting into real estate, single family, and I thought to myself, how do I expedite this?
Yeah.
So if you played Monopoly, you get the green houses, right? You can also get the red hotel. So I wanted the red hotel. And so how do I go from single family, to the red hotel? Well, I chose multifamily.
Brilliant.
So I can really, raise money from investors, go acquire a large asset, 100, 200 unit asset. And, essentially, I would take a split of the returns and do all the work, and they get to sit back and relax. They don't have to sign the loan. They don't have to put any earnest money, so it's lower risk for them.
I think you're brilliant. We're going to pull up your website and we'll show you that Joe actually specializes in multifamily and self-storage, which I can't think of 2 more recession-proof areas to invest in. What kind of properties do you look for?
Well, and I started diversifying into self-storage because I think they complement each other well. The storage is better cash flow due to lower operating expense. The apartments are better appreciation and depreciation. So investors like the depreciation, they like apartments, but if you're looking for cash flow, especially right now with interest rates the way they are, the self-storage really is helpful with cash flow.
And I know self-storage is the big thing because, all these baby boomers are retiring and they have all this stuff and their kids don't necessarily want their stuff. So it's got to go somewhere, right? So what are you seeing in terms of self-storage?
Well, it's resilient in that, for example, if you're paying a $20 a month payment, and we raise your rent by $5, is it enough? Are you going to go drive and move out all your things and go down the street? Probably not. You're probably just going to pay the small. But that $5 multiplied by 500 units, that's a good return for the owners.
Yes.
So that's one good thing about storage, why that's resilient. The apartments, you've got people moving here for job growth, population growth to DFW. The one thing that hurts apartments is vacancy, which we have very little vacancy right now.
Yes. Well, I think I heard where some, 200,000 people are moving to Dallas-Fort Worth every single year. There's now 8 million people who call DFW home. I mean, this is a vibrant economy here. So often when you hear the media talking about the economy, they're not talking about Dallas-Fort Worth. I can't think of a better market for you to be planting your flag in.
Yeah, and I also have lived there over 30 years, so I feel comfortable here. I understand it. So that's another reason I stick with the DFW market.
You're also a very popular guest on podcasts. We're going to show some video of one of your recent podcasts. I think you have the heart of a teacher, don't you? Do you like to educate?
I do, because when I was at a certain point, I would have loved to have someone educate me about all these things I didn't learn in school. So I would love to help others, kind of learn what I've learned over the last 5 to 7 years.
Sure. And a lot of people watch these TV shows and they think they can get rich and do it on their own. Why does it make sense to bring in somebody like you with the expertise?
Well, if you want to save yourself a long journey and expedite that journey, that's helpful. Or, you could take a long time to get to where you wanted to be, like I did.
Yeah. And there's a lot of expensive lessons. So if somebody thinks, okay, I'm going to get into real estate investing, I'm going to read Real Estate Investing for Dummies, and I'm going to go out and find an apartment complex, there's a lot that they don't know, isn't there?
You got to make the mistakes. No matter how much you educate yourself, when you do it in real life, you're going to learn the hard way.
You don't have to give financials, but what's one of your favorite success stories so far?
Well, I think one of them is just surviving these last 2.5 years. We haven't lost anyone's money. We've actually made a little bit of profits for people during this downturn. So we've done a good job protecting our investments.
I love that. And so your advice for anybody who's thinking about, sticking their toe into the water, maybe some of the people watching this, they're 100% in stocks. Why would it make sense to diversify into real estate?
So what I say to that is real estate's one of the oldest investments. There's only a certain amount of land on the planet, and for the near term, it's not growing.
Right.
So it's just going to keep going up.
Outstanding. Well, you've been an amazing guest. We're going to end with your website, which is Breakchain Capital. Joe Pizzurro, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.